Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at USAGlobalTV.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. And I just want to say happy Labor Day to those who observe and celebrate. And thank you to all of the military across the world who are keeping us safe. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is a Woman's Prerogative Part 1. Stick around because we'll have Part 2 later on this evening here in the United States on the East Coast, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, midnight British Summer Time. Our topic is breaking barriers. Let's do it. The rise of women in STEM. Let's welcome our panel. Today we have Jenetta Barry joining us from Kenya. Hello.
Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be back again and to share space with two very dear people. And welcome everybody out there.
Thank you, Jenetta. Let's also welcome Dr. Madalene Chan joining us from London. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Dr. JACALYN. Hi, Jenetta and everyone on E360 TV, and of course our regulars on USA Global TV and Radio, and to new people as well. Hello. Hi.
Hello. Yes, and of course our other panelists would typically be joining us, but they're on holiday today, so it's the three of us talking about breaking barriers. And I really feel since we've met, since the three of us have become friends and we work together, professional colleagues, we've all broken some kind of barriers ourselves. So before we actually dive into that Zoom, let's go around and talk a little bit about the work that we're doing. Everyone's got something exciting coming up. Let's start with Jenetta.
Oh, wow. Yes, lots of exciting things happening. I am the founder of World Jenny's Day, and we've just finished a massive fundraiser here in Kenya with bike rides through game parks and British Paralympian gold medalists cycling up Mount Kilimanjaro. And that's now leading us on to the 25th of September and the 10th of October. And we really are breaking barriers with these two coming up, especially the 10th of October. I was speaking earlier today. 10th of October is World Mental Health Day. And why there's a World Jenny's Day is because I lost my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny, to suicide after she and I argued. And we realized she had died on World Mental Health Day. So we use performing arts and the arts to soften and normalize conversations around depression, suicide, and solutions. And it's a big day on the 10th with a 24-hour performing marathon and a and a gala, a red carpet gala in London to close the whole day and year for 2023.
Fantastic. That is quite a lot. You've had a lot that you've had to take care of to put all these different pieces together. And I know from having been involved in the event space for years that it's quite an undertaking. How are you feeling about it, Jenetta?
Yeah, I have my moments. We're under a lot of pressure. I happen to have our co-executive producer with us today with Madalene, and of course you, Dr. JACALYN, in the streaming of the 24 hours. It's taking a lot of juggling. But I think what's been for all of us putting this together this year is that this is the first time we've moved into actually being not online. This is the 4th World Jenny's Day, and the others have all been online. Now we're moving over to a London hotel to end off the whole celebration. And post-COVID, there really are no free lunches. People are having to be paid for everything and anything that every time we turn around, and we're a fledgling charity. And that's been our biggest challenge of all, is that for us to make it a success, it has to be run in a really fluid way and a professional way. But watch this space, because we're doing great things, and my heart is really full with how everybody's stepping forward and doing their best and their most professional ways to bring out a day of note on the 10th of October.
Well said. Thank you so much, Janetta. We do have a couple of comments from Marco Vinacia. Is that how you say it?
Oh, that's Marco. Hello, Marco. Marco and his wife, Victoria, are very special friends, and they were clients. They're now friends. Marco, welcome.
Thanks for being here.
And adding to that, I was going to say, Dr. JACALYN, with World Jenny's Day, we have here the brooches. Can you see?
Beautiful.
And they're now available on Etsy. And it all goes towards the benevolent fund, charity fund of World Jenny's Day, which is about helping all struggling artists that are suffering with mental health symptoms, and their families as well. So it begins this year, the benevolent fund. So it's very exciting. Okay, so are we going to talk about me now?
Dr. Chan, before we do that, are you able to drop a link into the comments so we know how to purchase these brooches?
It's actually Jenetta that has the link for Etsy at the moment. I just have all the brooches, but it was only just decided. It was only just today it happened. So Jenetta will be the one to drop the link in about Etsy, so everyone can purchase. Well, anyone who wishes to purchase and contribute and help World Jenny's Day.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Chan, and the projects you're working on.
There's not that much, really. Not really. I'm considered a creative heart awakened. And basically, I have trained as a singer, and I've been in the industry as a singer, songwriter, artist. Maddie Loveday had number 7 in the charts, went on to become a teacher in performance and singing confidence. And from then I went to writing. Actually, in between that and those times, I wrote a children's book, Star Child, which is available on Amazon, basically about the times now, about the different 2 timelines going, love or fear. You're either into the light or you're not of the light. That's basically what it's all about, what's going on right now, actually. And also, I got together with Dr. JACALYN on her Power of Elevated Listening courses, and we collaborated together for 2 or 3 courses about how to transcend, about how to face your anxiety, how to face the dark night of the soul, transcend from your shadow, find yourself, be connected to your creative heart. And that's what it is, a heart awakened. At the same time, I can also help you to bring out your own song about your journey, in which case we did do that for World Jenny's Day, actually. So this is quite a World Jenny's Day tribute today, really. So that's what I do. I'm a creative heart awakened, and I help you to connect to your creative genius that opens your heart so that you can get onto your divine mission in life.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dr. Chan. You're obviously very busy as well.
Kind of.
That's an understatement. It really is an understatement. I think all three of us are facing our tails and going, oh my gosh, it's time to go to bed. What's that?
I hear you.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenetta, for providing the link for Etsy. We're putting it in the comments now. And so if you'd like to go over and help support this cause and purchase a brooch, we would love to have you do this. So just go ahead and click right there. Clink or click. I think it's
Thank
click.
you, Dr.
Okay.
Jacqueline. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful, heavy brooch. It's just so beautifully made, quality brooch. So you're really getting something special.
Yeah, it's oh, where is it? Oh my goodness. This way.
Opposite side.
All right, there. Oh.
You only have two sides. Go to the
there.
Okay.
You can oh God.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad it wasn't on your back. That would have been a whole other story.
I'm glad that I'm not a model. Can you imagine?
I'm watching you on the 75-inch screen. Sure, that's so funny. Okay. Okay, very good.
People will buy it because of that humor.
Yes, go ahead and purchase it, please. I've got a few things going on this month, and I think what will be the easiest thing for me to do is to share my screen. So we've got a number of books coming out this month, and my book coach, Red O'Loughlin, and I are meeting every night, it seems, getting this all done. So the first book that is coming out is Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening, Solutions for Deeper Connections, Better Relationships, More Authentic Conversations. This includes testimonials, case studies, as well as 2 quizzes and an option to be in our VIP community. So do go ahead and have a look. You can pre-order it right now, and the paperback and hardback will be available on September 21st, which is International Day of Listening. But wait, there's more. Blonde, Sexy, and Hot as Shiite, Beauty, Brains, and Ulcerative Colitis. This book is actually coming out before that one. It's coming out September 15th. No wonder I'm pulling my hair out. This book is filled with illustrations. It's really a kind of fun journey about something that's not really very fun. So it's comparing my glamorous life to living with a chronic and incurable disease, and how I ended up getting to where I am today, and how the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been an incredible support system. So please do go ahead and go over to Amazon and just put in my name, and you can pre-order this one as well. Okay, and then finally, we have 2 more. We have book number 5 for the Lady Ella series. This is a children's book series that focuses on helping children and their families learn how to listen at an elevated level. And the cool thing about this is that Jenetta and her son and daughter-in-law were the experts to help us understand more about the Baobab National Game Park. So thank you, Jenetta and team.
Woo!
Yay.
Way.
Okay, the next book is not on here.
It's
actually it's actually an adult coloring book. What you say? Yes. So having lived with someone who had dementia, my mom did a lot of painting, and she did paint by numbers. And I really wanted to honor her memory by doing a paint by numbers, but couldn't figure out how to do it to get the paints along with the illustrations. So what we decided instead, we've been working on it for a while, is an adult coloring book. So you can get colored pencils and then fill in the lines. And I think it's really a great opportunity, not just for patients, but for anybody who wants to create something and express themselves. And you don't have to stay in the lines, right? That's how life is. You can make it messy. It's your drawing. You can do whatever it is you want to do with it. And then one more. just when you thought it was over. We have, in collaboration with Dr. Chan and myself, Creative Hearts Awakening. This actually has changed. I have to change this. It's not just the film and music book collaboration. It's for Creative Hearts. Dr. Chan, why don't you tell us a little bit more about this book and the types of people who are collaborating with us?
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. The Creative Heart Awakening is a book about anyone that through their life, their journey, they've opened up to their creativity. That is their passion, their purpose, their driving force. And basically, it's about sharing with the rest of the world your journey, at the same time promoting your brand or your song, or whether it's a brand, a book, a song, your story. It's just about awakening and sharing that, yes, you have done it. And it doesn't have to be where you've established, where you're really big, high kudos artist or a novelist or creative artist. It's about your passion. It's about, as what Jenetta said to me, putting the heart back into the art. That's a great expression, Jenetta. Thank you for that. So that's what it's about. And we have a few people, good creatives that have already contributed. And creating, it's just about anything. It doesn't have to be in the art. It can be about the art of cooking. It can be about the art of caring. It can be the art. It's just about putting your heart and soul into what you love to do and bringing out the best, drawing out the best of yourself and your brand, presenting your brand. That's what it's about. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that. It's very exciting to have all these books coming out. Yeah. I don't know if exciting is the right word. It's memorable. It's memorable for sure.
Inspiring.
Inspiring. So let's stop sharing and let's get into our topic for today. And we're talking about people who are breaking barriers. And I'm really pleased to say that thanks to Dr. Chan, we've been introduced to a young woman who is now a new sponsor for our platform and for USA Global TV and Radio and also E360 TV. So we're going to take a look. She was supposed to be on one of our shows last week, but we actually interviewed her mother, which was super fun. Dr. Chan, before I bring up this video, tell us a little bit about this young woman and how she's breaking barriers.
Well, her name's Ella Holly, and she's only 21. She's been dealing with her own, how can I say, when it's anxiety. And she put all her passion, she put all her fear into her art and what she loves to do, which she loves to sing and she loves to act and do musicals. And she's absolutely phenomenal. She really is. She's a lot older than her age. She really is. And what I love about her is that she just goes for it. And she's not looking for the big fame. She's enjoying and loving the journey. And the most important is that Ella has a very strong supporting network of her family. Every one of them support her and don't push her, but at the same time, they give her praise and they give her constructive criticism, because when she goes out in that industry, and Ella knows this fully well, Ella said that she's got the comfort and the love and the support of her family. So she's going to be ready. And she wants to share her song.
All right.
I'm going to let Dr. Jacalyn introduce the song.
All right, let's take a look at this music video. And by the way, feel free to get up out of your chair, stand up, and just dance around. Really enjoy the music, because I think you're going to be super happy with this music video. I know I am. Let's take a look.
If I look into your heart, are you looking back at me? Am I everything you want, baby? If my heart was in your hands, would it be for you and me? Would you wanna keep it close, baby? find the right guy, the one I dreamed he'd be. Give it all that you can, stumble and fall. Love will set me free. Baby, 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 don't you know you drive me crazy? I love the things that we do. Baby, 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 if you say that I'm your lady, 'cause I can't stop thinking of you. If you told me to my face, you would lie right through your teeth. Would anybody know this is meant for me? I'm not the one to cry or throw my heart away. Can you show me all your loving? 'Cause I'm tired of these games. Ride or die, I find the right guy, the one I dreamed he'd be. Give it all that you can, stumble and fall. Love will set me free. Baby, 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 don't you know you drive me crazy? I love the things that we do. Baby, 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 if you say that I'm your lady, 'cause I can't stop thinking of you. Wanna play the game, make it up, fake it up. It's what we do. We play the game, shake it up, wake it up. I'm thinking of you. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Reach for the stars. Baby, 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 don't you know you drive me crazy? I love all the things that we do. Baby, 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 if you say that I'm your lady, 'cause I can't stop thinking of you. Baby, baby, baby. Baby, baby, baby.
Fun! Woo-hoo!
And there's another Ella as well. We've got Lady Ella, and now we've got Ella Holly.
Yeah, Ella.
Yes.
All these Ellas are following you. But did you see that video? Ella had her friends there. It was a lot of fun. She's going to become a trendsetter. She's very. And thanks to Martin Jimson as well, because he's the one from Music Bunker that just produced her, and his son Alex Jimson, who produced it as well. So yeah, thank you, Dr. JACALYN.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone who's making that happen. And there's an example of someone breaking a barrier, stepping out of their comfort zone. So today's topic is STEM, science, technology, engineer, and mathematics. Now, are any of these subjects near and dear to our panel today?
Where's Mariska? Where's Mariska? Mariska Dupree. It's more like for her.
Well, I can give you a little bit. I mean, there's got to be some people out there who haven't looked up or don't understand it like Maddie and I, but finding out that it means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I also went a little bit into the stats as well. And right now, 47% of the workforce is women, but only 24% are qualified in STEM. That's half.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Can you say those statistics again, Janetta?
47% of the world's workforce is women. So it's nearly half. We're not far off, 3% of half. But 24% are only STEM qualified. So half the women are not into that at all. And it basically the research I did was obviously because it's traditionally been men, and the environment hasn't been very friendly for women to go into that, because it's majority men, and also because traditionally women were going off to have babies and do the mummy thing, and that marginalized them too. But it appears it is changing. And I don't know how much you've seen or picked up, Dr. JACALYN, on this, how much it's changing. Have you got any idea?
No, I really don't. What really appealed to me about the whole thing was the technology aspect of it. And, what I'm doing is surrounded by technology. And Jenetta, you do a lot of work with technology as well. So that's not your primary role.
Yeah.
But
And
you're
even the epiphany process is actually scientifically based. It's I call it the yin and yang of science. So I have had to study the science side. I just haven't done it formally, which is, I think, where a lot of women sit. They really get all this stuff, but it's such a big leap to go, okay, I'm now going to be a scientist or whatever it is, a mathematician or a technologist. I think it still has a stigma and a feeling of overwhelm attached to it for most women.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you. Dr. Chan, what are your thoughts about what Jenetta said?
Yeah, this kind of gives me a block for some reason, but I feel that, yeah, I feel that a lot of women, especially in the third world, well, impoverished countries, are now coming up where they're having the opportunity now to study business, technology, sciences. In fact, when I was studying with the Open University, and my ex-husband was a professor there. He was teaching business, technology, and innovation. And he always told me that he couldn't believe that half of the class, well, actually 3/4 were women. And a lot of them came from abroad that were studying, from India, from Italy. And he was really surprised because a while ago, a few years back, it was mainly guys. So the fact that it's changing, this world is becoming more balanced, that's what I can really relate to as far as science and technology, business innovation. But he did say that business innovation isn't what you just call the science. It's about taking a brand or taking a product and turning it into something sellable by doing your prototypes, by doing your research. So that's what business innovation, that's what I learned about it. But to say that I know how to do it, no, I don't. I really, really don't. As far as I'm concerned, when science comes into it, it's almost I get a blip. Or mathematics,
actually,
blip.
Actually, one forgets that there are scientists out in the field that one kind of doesn't look at straight as part of STEM, and of course they are. Jane Goodall with her chimpanzees. And in fact, my friend Kes Smith, who is kind of like the Jane Goodall for rhinos, she's a doctor. She's qualified about rhinos like you won't believe, and that's all part of that. And there are many African American women who have done incredible things. I was looking earlier that there's what's her name, Shirley Ann Jackson. And is an influential American physicist, and she got her PhD in nuclear physics in the 60s, 1964. So there have been those pioneers who've been breaking the barriers, but they've been few and far between. And what I'm reading now is that it's happening more and more, and it's gaining momentum as more and more women are stepping into that arena. And it'll be interesting to see where that 24% goes to over the next, say, 5 years.
Thanks for those stats. Really appreciate it. So, Dr. Chan, are you saying that when you were in school, these areas were not ones that you were all excited about studying?
I have never been excited about mathematics. And when I went back to studying for the Open University and I did a maths course, it was so difficult. It really was. It just didn't, it was too logic for me. I wanted to feel the numbers. I wanted to feel it. But my tutor at the time said, "You're not meant to feel, you're meant to think. Think, this is what this is for, think." I went, "Okay, but can I feel with it?" I said, but when I was dancing, I could get the numbers. I could really work out numbers when I was dancing. When I was doing something more physical, I could work it out. But actually putting a pen and paper and studying logic like this, it just didn't gel. It just didn't. And it never will.
I so relate. So relate. I used to sit in the science labs doing biology and physics and chemistry going and everybody's trying to look intelligent and I'm going
I was going to say, it helps if you've got a really good looking teacher. We had Mr. Brown, a really good looking maths teacher at school. So all the girls, it was a Catholic school. So they were all going, "Yes, Mr. Brown. Yes." And he's showing the algebra on there and they're going, "Can you show it again, please, Mr. Brown?"
Where's Mr. Brown now?
I have no idea. I don't know. This was back in Bradford. When
still
I was
working it out, I think.
13 years old.
So let's turn our topic now to various barriers that you've broken in your own life, because I think that's always inspirational for our audience to hear real life stories about breaking barriers. So who would like to start? Janetta?
Oh, wow. I reckon long before the Jenny story, I broke barriers in workplaces where we talked about women being marginalized in STEM, women being marginalized. And I definitely broke barriers there where I would step forward fearlessly and talk to the top directors of a conglomerate. And I was part of a corporation, which was a little tiny piece of that whole conglomerate. And I'd walk into their boardroom and go, this is not on. So definitely those barriers. And I could see so much of my father in me and my grandfather. My grandfather was a major in the British Army. Very similar way of going, this is not acceptable, let's do something about it. And the other is doing artistic projects that everybody else tells me are impossible to do. Watch my space. I'll show them how possible it is and break barriers that end up people go, "Wow, we never thought you'd manage to do that." Or it's never me, of course. It's always an amazing team of people. But that's wherever I'm told it can't be done and it's in my value system, watch, I'm there in the front gathering people saying, "Come on, let's do it." That's always been me.
I love that, Jeanette. I can relate to that as well. There is somebody telling you that you can't do something, and it's like, really? Step aside.
Yeah, you think?
Just watch me.
But yet, when someone says something like that, we do get a little bit of a twinge, or it's hurtful, right? And it ends up being a real motivator or catalyst for change.
Yes, exactly. In fact, it's so helpful to have the people and the naysayers and the doubters, because they are the ones that help us to be spurred along. If everybody was in agreement, we'd go, okay, well, it can be done. But when we've got people saying it can't be, we can actually thank them, because it's because of them. They're a vital part of making things happen that are supposedly not happenable.
Yes, exactly. And it's also interesting as entrepreneurs, as we know, we have to spend so much time working on our craft, right? It's, I think I'm up to 90 hours a week now. And that's hard for other people to understand because you're not available to do things
Yes.
that you used to do or that other people want you to do. And yet you know that this is your mission. You know this is the legacy that you're leaving, and you know what's required, that you have to forego a lot of things socially and even personally. You have to do self-care, obviously. But
Yeah.
that, I think, is another reason that naysayers can say, well, you have no personal time or you're not available to do anything. It's, well, this is the mission.
It's so true. I didn't get attacked because we had the most amazing group of people on this bike ride. But one of the people said they could hear the pressure that we're under at the moment, not just whilst I was at the bike ride, but with things outside the bike ride. So I'm trying to juggle bike ride and the pressure and getting back, and a lot of deadlines to be made that are so daunting. And they started giving me what for and saying, well, you're the one that's supposed to be changing mental health. What's this doing to your mental health, and how much sleep are you getting? And they really quite attacked me. And and I understood where their heart was. They weren't attacking me to destroy me. They were attacking me or calling me out to balance myself out. And I had to step back into, it was like, whoa, and then step back into my power and say, anything that you're going to do that's outside the box comes with pressure. How you handle it is what it's about, not that it's happening. And they sat there and said, yeah, you're right. So it does. It's hugely, anything you're going to do that's outside the box, that's going to make a difference. All three of us have legacies we want to leave behind. It takes those days and weeks and months. And I mean, we've just had people come and stay with us, part of the bike ride. They hardly saw me. And I had to say right from the beginning, come, when we go out, I'll be out with you. When it's meal times, I'll be with you. So if we go and see some animals in a reserve, I'll be there. But in between, you won't see me for dust. And that's how it is.
Yeah. And good for you for stating that, for expectations, because that's another thing I think about breaking barriers is other people decide that they're going to give their opinion about what you're doing. Right. And we know from the power of elevated listening that if you don't ask for a solution, why are people giving one? If you're happy with what you're doing and you have your thumb on everything, and you know you have to take a break for yourself, and you take that break, you don't need other people, I feel, giving their 2 cents when they have no experience in doing what it is that you're doing.
Absolutely. And it's often because it's their charge. Something about what you're doing is pressing their buttons, and that issue would be wise to be addressed and embraced, to bring into a place where they can manage, say, their mental health or whatever it is that they're not managing.
Yeah, very true.
I do agree to you, definitely, Dr. Jacalyn. But let's say you meet someone that's younger, that has not had that experience, but it's in their DNA. It's already there. The answer is there. They're so connected to the universe. They're given divine intervention and the words. Of course, they have to ask permission if it's okay to give you this solution. But just because somebody hasn't experienced it doesn't mean they don't have the wisdom behind it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah,
that
that's
hidden
true.
wisdom. Yeah, that hidden wisdom still to be unlocked. And we were all there once, where we were going, I wonder what why am I on this planet? Let me think about this.
Yeah, I think the point
takes
is,
time to unlock.
Regardless of how much experience someone has, if someone's giving their opinion and you didn't ask for it, that's the point that I'm trying to make. So I'll give an example. Just, my mother passed away on the 24th of August, and I was working before, unfortunately, during and after. And, people have said, well, when my parents passed away, I was doing X, Y, Z. Okay, that's great. Good for you doing whatever. We all have to make our choices. And I know for me, I've spent the last however many countless years and time with my mother, and and took care of her. And so I'm comfortable with the relationship I had and with how things are, but yet people feel like they have to volunteer something. And I just would caution you out there, all of us, that, you know, before you volunteer information about somebody else's life, maybe take a step back and look at your own life. And why do you feel that you need to volunteer this information as opposed to just being a good listener? What do you think about that?
Very valid point, because there's nothing worse than someone say, and you didn't ask, they didn't ask. That's what's important. They didn't actually ask for permission. They didn't say, do you mind if I offer my advice? And it happens a lot in society. Before you've actually finished your conversation, someone's coming in with the solution. Hey, this is the power of elevated listening, isn't it?
But you know what else is also interesting? Then I'll go to Jenetta, is that people feel the need to tell you what's going to happen to you if you continue to do whatever. You're probably going to get really sick, or this is going to, really? Are you a fortune teller now? Are you clairvoyant? But people do this on a regular basis. They feel that it's helpful. But I don't know, Jenetta, based on your experience and the work that you do, why do people volunteer that type of information about what could potentially happen to you if you continue doing X, Y, Z?
Well, I've noticed it's part of it is wanting to appear knowledgeable. And the other is that they are, if their hearts are open, they're genuinely scared for you. Because what I heard when you were talking then was my mother, don't go out in the rain and get wet because you'll get a cold. Don't do this because that and that. So a lot of those reactions from people come from often, and I'm generalizing obviously, but often come from pre-programming that's implemented into us in earlier years. So, you know, if you don't get enough sleep, because that's how this person said what they said, because I was saying, oh, I'm not getting much sleep at the moment. You know, we're going from lodge to lodge on the bike ride and things are happening. And she said, oh, well, you'll get sick if you don't have sleep. And I remember my mum saying that to me often. So there are these cliches of, if you do this, you will lose out here. And it's not necessarily so. I've met lots of people who do incredible things on 3 hours of sleep a night, and that's all they need. And they've programmed themselves that way, and they don't get sick. They've been doing it for years and years and years. So there's a lot of pre-programming coming in with those type of knee-jerk reactions as well. And then the other is that they want to appear as though they're knowledgeable and can help and that they matter. That there's a mixture there.
Yes, that's a great point. And something I'd like to just couch that with it when we talk about the power of listening, because it all comes back to that, is if I were to say to you, you know, Jenetta, I've had some challenges getting some sleep. Have you considered what might happen if you don't get X number? That's a completely different thing than you're going to get sick. This is going to, you know, doom and gloom.
Yes. And even down to, have you noticed that so that you're comparing notes, as you say, you know, have you ever noticed when you don't get sleep that this, because I've noticed when I don't, do you get the same? Then you're comparing notes. And then I have an opportunity to say, yeah, I've experienced that. Or no, I don't feel like that at all. It's actually amazing or whatever.
Agreed. I sleep pretty well. There was a time in my life when I was getting about 4 hours of sleep. I was doing my full-time job, my career. I was also had a store on eBay. I was running 60 auctions a week. I had a part-time job doing cosmetics, and I was getting my doctorate. And so I was getting 4 hours of sleep, and I was okay. I was just on a high on adrenaline, you know, just getting it all done. And then at some point I thought, well, I think I need to get some more sleep. But it was fine for 2 or 3 years. I was acting, you know, I was operating on a small number of hours of sleep.
I've never been a long hours of sleep person, but certainly since this greatest life test in losing Jen, my sleep patterns altered with that trauma and with that loss. And I actually adapted to it. When I was living in New York, I was definitely only doing 3 or 4 hours because we had incredible tight deadlines then. And I adapted. I didn't go into the belief system that I would end up extremely ill. And I didn't get ill. I made deadlines. I was happy with 3 or 4 hours sleep, and I still danced. I danced ballet while I was in New York, walked Manhattan because I was living in Manhattan a lot, and I was fine. And I really think it's how you decide to believe in whatever is happening around you.
That's a great point, Jeanette. Just a question. If we say to ourselves, oh, I'm going to get sick. Oh, I'm going to get sick. Oh, I'm going to get sick. Then you probably are going to get sick because you're programming your body and your mind for that, right?
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in that.
Absolutely. You attract, you think and you attract and you become. So the more times you say you're going to be ill, you know, it's manifesting. You're manifesting. The more times you're saying, oh, blame of this, you're putting hexes out there. You're putting hex on someone. And too many people are putting too many hexes on someone. And about breaking barriers is basically, for me, mine has been about the forgiveness. How many people would forgive someone who gang raped you and got your best friend, and the best friend got paid for it? How many people would forgive someone when they would come and rob you and put a knife to your throat? How many people would forgive when you get thrown out? There's so many things that have happened in my life that are so dark, but there was the learning lesson through it. I never blamed. I never condemned. I never spoke ill of them. I just forgave them. And that has been my breaking barrier, because I do believe I have a gift where I am able to trigger someone to help them awaken things that they have to work on themselves. So I'm a trigger, I'm a mirror, and I will trigger it. I'm like a light, and I'll shine on that darkness and I'll bring it out. And then they need to start to work on themselves. And I do believe that with the breaking barrier of this, from that, with the darkness and the forgiveness, and then the other side of me being a light being, when I go out and I go talk to the animals and the trees and the flowers, and I rescue animals. If there's a fly that's about to die, I suddenly help to dry it out and then bless it with love. And if it's a dead animal, I help it to go past the rainbow. It's spirit out there, because the last thing I want, I feel, is if that animal was by itself, or that insect or whatever it was by itself. No one thought anything of that at the point of death when it passed. And that's what I think. So breaking barriers for me has been about purity, the law of forgiveness, and always following my intuition, no matter what. A lot of people said I should have either killed myself. That's what the doctor said, or even the therapist said. I had 2 therapy lessons, and they said, you know what, you don't need it. So I feel I've broken the barrier by connecting to my inner world, because I've lived in my inner world throughout my life. And now I'm coming to balance the outer world with the inner world. So that's
Thank you, as always, for your transparency, Dr. Chan. You brought up a lot of really good points, and I think that really helps us bring to a close breaking barriers, connecting with yourself. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from one of our sponsors, and then we'll be back to talk about what you shared, okay? All right, stay with us. Thank you to our VIP official sponsor, Zane Carson Carruth. She is an international award-winning author, and she's also an etiquette and protocol expert. She has her own show here on this platform, and that show can be seen on Thursdays. It is Elegance elegance. Anyone? Do you know the rest of it? It's a quiz. Polished demeanor and posh living. Okay, let's take a look at her sponsorship and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
There it is, elegance, polished demeanor, and posh living. Please do join us on Zane Carson Caruth's show. As I mentioned, it's the first Thursday of each month. Well, my friends, we have so much to chat about, but we are running out of time. So Dr. Chan, we'll have to revisit this later, but I do really applaud you and thank you for just being so beautiful and so willing to help lift up other people by sharing what you've been through. Let's go around quickly and provide a little bit of information about how people can reach out to us and the value that we can bring. We'll start with Dr. Chan.
Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Anyone can reach out to me if they're feeling stuck in their life, if they feel that nothing's making sense anymore, and they want to find who they are. They want to find out their creative genius. They want to find themselves. They want to co-create with life. Please contact me on madalenecarolchan.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn, Dr. Madalene Chan. You can find me there, and I will be there. Please, anyone, just reach out to me, because you know what? Everyone needs their heart awakened, especially a creative soul heart awakened.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing that. Over to you, Jenetta Barry.
Well, I'd like to invite each and every one of you to come on a journey with us, with me, with us, for World Jenny's Day over the next 6 weeks. Come and take our hands, or my hand. Join us either to be part of World Jenny's Day for the experience, or to volunteer your time, or to actually perform. If any of those three things really relate to you, then reach out to us on worldjennysday.com, WORLD, Jenny's, JENNYS, day.com. And you can get hold of me there, and either Madalene, myself, or our virtual assistant, Vilna, will be able to get hold of you immediately. We'd love you to join us on this journey.
Thank you so much, Jenetta. And for me, I just want to invite people to join us on our platform. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, go over to our website, which is USAGlobalTV.com. Go to book your session. All the shows are listed in Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time. So please add in wherever you are in the world. Make sure that it's a time that works for you. Sometimes we have people booking in and it's the middle of the night and they still want to do the show. That's great, but just be aware it's Eastern Time. And also, I'd love for you to take our courses as Dr. Chan mentioned, about elevated listening, and then also to go ahead and take a look at my books. That would be beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we'll be back tonight, as I mentioned. And of course, our panelists are welcome to stay up in the middle of the night and join us as well if they'd like to be on that program. So we will be back with part 2 later on today. So thanks, everyone. We look forward to seeing you again next week. It's been an absolute pleasure. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.